Hello, and welcome to your next lesson. Today, we will be talking about Sparklines in Microsoft Excel. Sparklines are simply mini charts housed within a cell in your Excel worksheet. These miniature charts represent changes over a period of time and are great for measuring temperature, stock market, as well as sales. A Sparkline can be based on line or a column chart and can be changed or updated as today's video will demonstrate. Please open the Visual Data Worksheet and go to the Sparkline tab to follow along in this lesson. So here we are on our spreadsheet, and I have added some data for us to work with. Today, we'll be creating Sparklines based on the sales of our managers from January through June. As indicated in our intro, a Sparkline is a chart that is housed in a single cell. Let's begin by creating a Sparkline for Sales Manager A. Then we'll do an autofill for Sales Managers B through D. So let's begin by selecting cell B3. Let's say Insert. Let's head over to the Sparkline group and let's go ahead and select Line. Now when your pop-up box opens, let's go ahead and grab the arrow for the data range. Next, we're going to go ahead and select cell C3 all the way to H3. Let's select the arrow again and let's go ahead and say OK. Okay, as you can see, Sales Manager A now has a Sparkline. So let's go ahead and get in our autofill mode by hovering over the lower corner until it turns into a black cross. Let's go ahead and drag it down. So now as you can see, we have a Sparkline for Sales Manager A through D. So let's go ahead and look at our formatting options. Let's go ahead and select cell B3. And as you can see, it highlights all of our Sparklines. So let's go up to Sparkline color and let's get our drop down. I'm going to change it to a dark blue. Let's look at the width. Let's go ahead and thicken it up a little bit. Let's go at 1.5. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at our markers. And let's go ahead and place a red marker on our Sparkline. So the markers represent changes over a period of time. Let's look at some of our other options. Let's go ahead and deselect markers. And let's go ahead and select the first and the last point. So now as you can see, when you look at your Sparkline, you will see that the beginning and the end of your Sparkline is represented by a marker. Let's go ahead and deselect this. Now let's go ahead and select high point. Now you will see the high point in each of the manager's cells. Manager D is represented at the beginning, while Manager A, B, and C is more to the end or the middle of the line. Let's deselect high point and let's go ahead and select low point. And again, you get different points in the line for each sales manager. Okay, so next I would like to change our line into a column chart. So let's go ahead and simply select column in the type group. And as you can see, our line switched from lines to columns. And now we're able to visualize our data in terms of columns instead of lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of our markers for the columns. Let's go ahead and select high point. And as I do this, you will see the high point in your Sparkline indicated. Let's go ahead and deselect high point and let's select low point. And again, you will see the faint red lines for the low point in your charts. Okay, let's deselect this and let's go ahead and select first and last point. And again, you will see the red marks indicated for the first and the last point in your column Sparkline. Now I would like to talk about editing our data in our Sparklines. Now you can edit the data directly from the data that it's pulling from, and you can edit the data range. Let's begin by editing our data source. Let's go ahead and select cell C3. Now I'm going to change 5783 to 2783 And you should see a change in my Sparkline for Sales Manager A. Okay, so as you can see, the update to my Sparkline has been made based on the update to my data. I'm going to go ahead and select cell E4. I'm going to change 5833 to 9833. And again, you should see a change in my Sparkline. Okay, and again, the change has been made based on the update that I made. Let's go ahead and select cell H6. I'm going to change 1398 to 5898, and you will see a change in my Sparkline. Okay, and again, the change has been made based on my updates to my data. Okay, so now let's take a look at how we can update our data range. Let's go ahead and select our Sparkline from cell B4. I'm going to go ahead and say edit data. I'm going to say edit single Sparkline data. And as you can see, it highlights the cells for Manager B. I'm going to go ahead and select cells C4 to G4. And I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So now as you can see, I only have 5 columns as opposed to 6 because I excluded June when I made my updates. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a Control Z to undo that action and to put that back. Okay, next I would like to show you how to clear your Sparkline, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the lesson. So let's go ahead and select the Sparkline. Let's select the Sparkline tab. Let's get the drop down for clear. And let's go ahead and say clear selected Sparkline. Now that removes the first one. Now if you want to clear the group, again, select the Sparkline. Then go ahead and say clear selected Sparkline groups. And that will remove the entire group. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a Control Z to undo the last 2 actions. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the lesson. I hope you found this information helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so that wraps up this video. Job well done today. Be sure to save your work and then celebrate your accomplishments. Great job!